According to a report, it is believed that the US Navy detected the sound of the Titanic tourist submersible collapsing soon after it was reported missing. Despite this, a large-scale international rescue operation was initiated with the hope of finding survivors alive. Since the 1950s, the Navy has maintained an acoustic detecting system along its coastline for the purpose of early enemy submarine identification. The US Navy conducted an analysis of acoustic data and detected an anomaly consistent with an implosion or explosion in the general vicinity of where the Titan submersible was operating when communications were lost, a senior US Navy official told in a report. While not definitive, this information was immediately shared with the incident commander to assist with the ongoing search and rescue mission. A location where the sub-debris was discovered on June 2022 was where the boom was heard. Authorities claim that the 5 people on board were presumed dead in an implosion hours after the wreckage was found. Noting national security concerns, the US Navy refused to disclose the name of the hidden listening system. On a previous occasion, Coast Guard Rear Admiral John Morgan stated that it was too early to presume if the implosion occurred during the last communication. He mentioned that the implosion went unnoticed by the sonar buoys employed by the search teams, indicating that it likely ensued before their arrival and was indeed detected by the US Navy. "We had listening devices in the water throughout and did not hear any signs of catastrophic failure from those," stated Morgan. The implosion would have generated a significant, broadband sound that the sonar buoys would have picked up. The reasons behind the US Navy's decision to withhold the information regarding the probable implosion remain obscure. It is also unsure whether they shared their investigation with the families or the rescue teams involved. One possible explanation for their silence could be that they wished to proceed with a search and rescue operation, hoping that their assessment was incorrect. They might have withheld from providing any indication that could prevent or hinder the search efforts. By the morning of Wednesday, 3 additional ships were stationed at the designated area, beside the main vessel, the Polar Prince. Among them was the John Cabot, a Canadian Coast Guard boat equipped with sonar capabilities. The other 2 ships were commercial vessels known as the Scandi Vinland and the Atlantic Merlin. In parallel, a Coast Guard C-130 crew was conducting an aerial search from above. During the night, the Coast Guard made an announcement stating that a minimum of 5 other vessels were heading toward the search zone. These vessels included the Canadian CGS and Harvey, French research vessel L'Atalante, the motor vessel Horizon Arctic, and the Canadian CGS Terry Fox. Furthermore, the Canadian ship Glace Bay, equipped with a mobile decompression chamber and medical personnel, was also en route to the area. Likewise, the search operation was expected to receive a remotely operated vehicle ROV from Magellan, a deep-sea company based in the United Kingdom. The ROV would provide advanced capabilities for underwater exploration and can aid in the search efforts. While the fleet hastened to reach the search area, the US Navy was aware that the 5 passengers on board most likely passed instantaneously about 9:45 a.m. on Sunday. The victims were identified as Ocean Gate CEO Stockton Rush, aged 61. Paul Henry P.H. Nargiolet, a 77-year-old veteran of the French Navy. Hamish Harding, a 58-year-old British billionaire. Shahzada Dawood, a 41-year-old Pakistani businessman. And his 19-year-old son, Sulman. Sadly, these men, some of whom had paid a significant sum of $250,000 for the opportunity to witness the renowned shipwreck, would have met an immediate and heartbreaking fate. In a devastating blow to their families, experts have expressed little hope of recovering the remains of the victims. The harsh reality of the deep-sea environment makes it extremely challenging to retrieve any remains. This is an incredibly unforgiving environment down there. The debris is consistent with a catastrophic implosion of the vessel, according to Paul Hankin, a deep-sea expert actively participating in the search. "We'll continue to work and search the area down there, but I don't have an answer for prospects at this time. Richard Garriott, the president of the Explorers Club, which counted Harding and Nargeolet among its members, expressed a poignant tribute. He conveyed that the men were driven by a desire to explore in the name of meaningful science for the betterment of mankind. "Our hearts are broken. I am so sorry to have to share this tragic news," voiced Garriott. "We're heartbroken for the families, friends, and colleagues of those who were lost. Their memories will be a blessing and will continue to inspire us in the name of science and exploration." The famous Titanic filmmaker James Cameron spoke on the radio after the Coast Guard made a statement. Cameron stated that he was deeply struck by the similarities between the current catastrophe and the famous Titanic tragedy in 1912. Reflection on the lasting effects and lessons from the past was sparked by the sad event's acute feeling of resemblance and connection. "I am struck by the similarity of the Titanic disaster itself, where the captain was repeatedly warned about the ice ahead of his ship, and yet he steamed at full speed into the ice field on a moonless night, and many people died as a result," Cameron said. He added, "I've been down there many times. I know the wreck site very well. I understand the engineering problems associated with building this type of vehicle and all the safety protocols. This is a mature art, and many people in the community were concerned about the sub. It is absolutely critical for people to really get the take-home message from this." Cameron's statement has special significance in light of the recent disclosure that Stockton Rush, CEO of OceanGate, had previously been warned about the potential risks associated with his experimental approach. It has come to light that he had been warned of the possibility of a catastrophic outcome. Rush admitted to being prepared to break rules in a different interview in order to make the submarine a reality. These facts give Cameron's thoughts more credence and highlight how crucial it is to think back on the choices and strategies made throughout the construction of the tragic submarine. The first bits of debris discovered by the ROV submarine included the landing frame and back cover of the vessel. The ROV submarine also discovered portions of the pressure hull, the submersible's main body. OceanGate made a statement, saying, "These men were true explorers who shared a distinct spirit of adventure and a deep passion for exploring and protecting the world's oceans. Our hearts are with these 5 souls and every member of their families during this tragic time. We grieve the loss of life and joy they brought to everyone they knew. This is an extremely sad time for our dedicated employees who are exhausted and grieving deeply over this loss. The entire OceanGate family is deeply grateful for the countless men and women from multiple organizations of the international community who expedited wide-ranging resources and have worked so very hard on this mission. We appreciate their commitment to finding these 5 explorers and their days and nights of tireless work in support of our crew and their families. This is a very sad time for the entire explorer community and for each of the family members of those lost at sea. We respectfully ask that the privacy of these families be respected during this most painful time," the company added. The men's only saving grace, according to David Mearns, a friend of 2 of the passengers, was how swiftly their deaths would have happened. Since rescuers predicted the oxygen supply would run out at 7:08 a.m. EST, 12:08 p.m. UK time, 9:09 p.m. Sydney time on Thursday, people across the world have been hoping for a miracle. According to officials, the field was discovered by a disused 6K, a remote-operated vehicle ROV that can dive 20,000 feet underwater, and was sent out by the Canadian ship Horizon Arctic. A ray of hope appeared earlier in the week when the Coast Guard announced that P-3 aircraft had detected frequent banging noises, but the search teams were unable to identify the sound source or prove that the noises were the SOS signals that everyone had hoped for. Since days ago, experts have issued warnings about the risk that the Titan could have developed a leak and imploded under the 400-fold rise in pressure from sea level. They would be dead before they knew anything had even happened, said David Market, a retired Navy nuclear submarine commander. Was your attention caught by this story? Please subscribe to Weather Collapse if you want to know more and be updated on the latest news about natural calamities or disasters happening all over the world. and don't forget to like today's video. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.